Hey guys, what's up? If you've been looking for new shoot-'em-up games, you're in the right place. Today, I bring you 10 insane new shoot-'em-ups that you might not know about. I'm Matthew, and we're starting the list with another space opera, a game that immediately catches your eye with its graphic design. The story is set in the year 2297. Humanity has survived nuclear catastrophes and is under the command of a technocratic order. But instead of just focusing on action, the game places you as a piece in a supernatural war for the future of the galaxy. This changes the perspective. It's not just about mindless shooting. It's about feeling the weight of each mission as everything crumbles around you. Whenever I play titles with this apocalyptic sci-fi background, I notice how they encourage you to question the role of humans versus artificial intelligence and biotechnology. It's much more than just aiming and firing. The setting makes you dream big, as if for a few minutes you were part of something truly gigantic. The art design bets on that modern pixel art, but with lighting effects and explosions so intense that I need to get used to them to not lose important details in the middle of combat. And it's not just nostalgia. There's a mix of visual elements from classic 90s shooters with enough polish to please the most demanding gamers of the new generation. This creates a sense of familiarity, but also a certain wow, what an evolution from Gradius and Katana Zero. The character animation is good, although people have commented in forums that the running needs adjustments, which really makes a difference when the action demands speed. And between us, it's impossible not to be won over by huge bosses with unpredictable attack patterns. It's the kind of fight where every defeat brings a lesson, and every victory a sense of accomplishment. Playing the demo, I felt that exploration mixes with intense shootouts and platforming sections, which challenges both patience and skill. The level design is intricate, always with that hide something for the curious feel, like alternative routes and secret areas. Because of this, each stage feels like an invitation to snoop around, trying out unusual weapons and equipping upgrades that really change your approach. The control of the ship or character is responsive, without exaggerated stiffness, allowing for moments of both precision and absolute chaos. And it's in this combination of fast pace and opportunities to pause for reflection that the game shines. It always offers the unexpected. Cobra Strike is the kind of shoot-'em-up that, upon entering the campaign, throws you right into the nostalgia of classic 90s aerial combat games, but with a very interesting strategic touch. The setting revolves around military missions in deserts, jungles, and Arctic regions, and each stage brings scenarios with unique challenges that require more than just quick reflexes. Here, the differentiator is thinking like a true commander. The feature of choosing between various helicopter models, each with well-defined attributes, completely changes the dynamic of each match. Whenever I test games like this, I realize that the choice of aircraft can turn a routine mission into a nightmare or an epic achievement. The gameplay is intense and forces you to master not only shooting, but also flight and maneuverability techniques, because meteors, anti-aircraft guns, and tanks appear out of nowhere to surprise you. There's no room for monotony. Each enemy demands a different type of movement, and messing up the timing of your attack means facing a shower of destruction. For me, this tactical demand makes Cobra Strike stand out among so many generic shooters, because the game always forces you to think before you act. Visually, Cobra Strike's retro style is more than a tribute. It's almost a declaration of love to the arcades, with large sprites, vivid explosions, and lots of classic war sound effects. The result is a screen full of action, but clear enough not to confuse you in critical moments. This makes the matches more exciting and creates that just one more try feeling that characterizes the best shooters. Speaking of challenge, the difficulty curve is sharp. The first few stages might seem calm, but soon the game throws enemies at you from all sides and demands total mastery of the controls. Here, losing is part of learning. It's not just about winning, it's about evolving and finding creative ways to overcome obstacles. The system of checkpoints and secondary objectives ensures that dose of replayability for perfectionists. The multiplayer, whether cooperative or competitive, adds an extra layer of fun. Coordination between players becomes a matter of survival, and that feeling of collective achievement is worth every second. Playing a shoot-'em-up that rewards teamwork without giving up competition is priceless.
Kill the traitors. Clear.
Tower, come in. We have 4 fugitive traitors in a civilian van heading south.
Roger Cardpost, confirmed. 1 contact at 129er. Sentry 1, full alert. Perimeter is breached. 4 terrorists in a van. Head in your position. Turn back. Visual contact behind you at any moment. Fire at will.
Dark Light Survivor is a roguelike survival game set in a post-apocalyptic multiverse devastated by the Dark Void, a dark force that has unleashed horrendous creatures and fragmented reality. In it, you take on the role of one of the last humans, a dark hunter aboard the Phantom Train, a vessel built with celestial quantum technology to traverse universes in search of the legendary Elysium, a paradise untouched by darkness. The journey is fraught with danger, where each universe requires collecting energy to power the train for the next jump, while you face increasingly terrifying enemies in a cyberpunk world of nocturnal ruins and mystical forests. The gameplay combines survival and roguelike elements with resource-gathering mechanics and procedural generation that ensure high replayability. You explore expansive maps, manage supplies, and adapt to dynamic biomes, where the difficulty progressively increases. The focus is on intense battles against a variety of enemies, culminating in 3 major boss fights with unique attack patterns and challenging mechanics. The game emphasizes progression through skill unlocks and upgrades, allowing players to build custom strategies to survive the multiversal chaos. One of the most innovative features is the dynamic alternation between top-down and third-person perspectives, allowing for a broad tactical view or an immersive close-up during combat, which enriches both exploration and epic fights. Deep customization is a central pillar, with a crafting system for melee and ranged weapons, allowing modifications with unlockable parts. You collect armor and equipment to adapt to evolving challenges, creating unique builds that combine survival, combat, and exploration. Neon Inferno is one of those titles that wins you over with its visuals. The aesthetic heavily relies on cyberpunk, with a wash of neon lights, CRT effects reminiscent of old televisions, and extremely high-quality pixel art. Right from the start, it feels like a tribute to classic 90s shooters, but reimagined with modern features and an absurd amount of energy. The gameplay combines 2 approaches. On one hand, it's a frantic run and gun, and on the other, it incorporates gallery shooter elements, allowing you to hit enemies in both the background and foreground. This radically changes the combat dynamic, as you often need to think quickly to switch focus between threats emerging from all sides. The pace is fast from beginning to end. The game demands sharp reflexes, especially when bullet time comes into play. This time-slowing feature is not just for show, but a real necessity for dodging projectiles, aiming at weak spots, and coordinating simultaneous attacks. Every time I master this mechanic, I feel like I'm reaching a new level of skill, and it's addictive to try to pull off increasingly risky moves. It's the kind of mechanic that turns a shoot-'em-up into an almost choreographed practice, putting the player in a total state of flow. The narrative takes place in a dystopian New York, infested with criminal factions and corrupt police forces, which creates that hopeless urban atmosphere typical of the best cyberpunk fiction. You can choose between two characters, Angelo or Mariana, each with distinct abilities, weapons, and upgrades. This not only increases the replay factor, but also forces you to think about how each build might better fit your playstyle. The upgrades I choose completely transform matches, creating unique strategies. The level design is diverse, alternating between pure action stages and vehicle moments. Highlights include the motorcycle sections or classic 90s-style chases, which break the routine of traditional combat and test other aspects of the player's skill. These moments function like small mini-games inserted amidst the chaos, breaking the straight line of progression and surprising you with each new stage. Whenever a new type of challenge arises, I feel that chill of not knowing exactly what to expect. Terminator 2D No Fate is, for me, the perfect definition of fan service done with respect. A direct tribute to the film that marked generations. Now transformed into a 2D adventure full of pixelated action and classic adrenaline. In each stage, the game blends iconic scenes from the movie with new situations, creating a narrative with multiple endings, where strategic choices modify the course of human resistance against the machines. This freedom in itself is enough of an argument to win over old and new fans alike. The graphics fearlessly embrace the Mega Drive look, with large, detailed sprites, well-defined colors, and effects that enhance the end-of-the-world atmosphere. Everything is carefully animated, from the robotic bosses to each explosion, creating an environment of destruction and the urgency to save humanity. In terms of gameplay, it's pure run and gun, with Contra-style sections, vehicle chase stages, and even stealth segments in the prison, in homage to classic 90s platformers. References to the film are everywhere, from the famous motorcycle chase, through shootouts in the hospital, to the desperate escape in the tanker truck. Each stage is a gift for those who memorized every scene of the movie, but it never feels forced, as there is always originality in mixing new scenes with the classic ones. This is a high point, as many licensed games fail by blindly imitating without bringing new ideas. The balance between action, exploration, and puzzles keeps the pace always interesting. In some levels, you need to uncover paths and operate machinery. In others, the focus is on shooting and surviving floods of enemies, robots, police, or Skynet soldiers. The game demands more than just reflexes. Thinking tactically and managing resources makes all the difference, especially in the advanced stages where every shot counts.
It's taking over, it's about time. Sing your highlight on the roller coaster of life. You've got to all choose your timeline with the roller coaster of life.
Reincarnation Insurance Program is the surprise of the year for those who like to mix craziness with intense action. The game's plot fully embraces the absurd. In this universe, you literally buy insurance to guarantee reincarnation after each failure. I confess that I love it when developers bet on unusual ideas. This one completely breaks the mold of traditional shoot-'em-ups. Humor permeates every dialogue, every item, and even interactions with NPCs, making each death a less frustrating and more curious experience. Here, dying is just an opportunity to test reactions and see how far the silliness goes. The gameplay embraces the top-down style, reminiscent of the best roguelites on the market, but with that risk versus reward feel. In each run, your goal is to survive the largest number of enemies, collect resources, and invest in upgrades that will make future attempts easier. The dynamism of the maps, which change with each playthrough, pushes the player to never fall into a routine. I found this unpredictable factor excellent, as it guarantees unique matches and invites you to test different strategies. Another high point is the choice of weapons. From water pistols with hilarious effects to absurdly powerful laser rifles, no combination is the same. I really enjoy titles that give freedom to create unpredictable builds. Here, creativity is truly rewarded. The upgrade system allows for creating insane combos and experimenting with new dynamics each turn. It's addictive to try to break the game system, always searching for that overpowered combo that changes everything. Visually, the game remains faithful to minimalism, but compensates with agile animations and humorous effects. Exaggerated explosions, colorful shots, bizarre power-ups, everything contributes to that chaotic arcade atmosphere without compromising the fast-paced action. For those who enjoy straightforward pixel art, it's a treat and keeps the matches clean and understandable even in the mess. Standing together couldn't have a more honest name. The focus here is on group survival in a cooperative top-down shooter full of challenges and twists. The immediate appeal is this: the larger the team, the more strategies can be created to withstand the hordes of zombies and mutant creatures. I've never seen a game that depends so much on the synergy between players. It's a matter of life or death to interact with precision and speed. It's a perfect fit for those who enjoy intense sessions with friends, where each stage brings a different story, the kind that yields good laughs and real tension. Within each match, the game's pace is relentless. Waves of enemies appear constantly, and maintaining control of infested areas requires both individual skill and team planning. From the beginning, it's clear that choosing the right equipment and assembling teams with specialists in attack, defense, or support makes all the difference. Thus, each run becomes a unique experience. The challenge is never exactly the same, so it's impossible to fall into repetition. The scenarios are varied, alternating between urban areas, abandoned forests, military bases, and secret laboratories. It's hard not to admire how the game manages to surprise with each stage, always throwing in a new obstacle or a different enemy to break the comfort zone. I confess I love when shoot-'em-ups add elements of surprise and reward thorough exploration. The character progression system is remarkable. As the player gains XP, new equipment, abilities, and powers are unlocked, making each team member unique. This focus on customization encourages repeated playthroughs and incentivizes people to experiment with bold combinations, because you never know when that creative build will save everyone or wipe out the team in seconds. The dynamic difficulty system adjusts the challenge according to the team's performance. If everyone plays well, the pressure increases. If the group suffers more defeats, the challenges become less aggressive, keeping the progression rewarding. I found this feature great for not frustrating beginners while ensuring adrenaline for veterans. Jackal is pure nostalgia, but with enough power to win over even those who have never seen the original classic. The military context is straightforward. You pilot an armored jeep in a war zone, rescuing soldiers, confronting enemy bases, and surviving brutal bosses. The game bets on that agile arcade gameplay where every second matters, and every grenade or shot can be the difference between success and failure. It's simple in concept but absurdly challenging when the action heats up. The intelligence behind the level design is impressive. From extensive maps filled with obstacles and traps to secret areas that hold powerful upgrades. Here, nothing is handed to you on a platter, and discovering shortcuts requires the keen eye of someone who pays attention to the smallest details. The pleasure of finding a new route and mercilessly slaughtering enemies is rewarding, and causes that uncontrollable urge to play just one more time. The game gains an extra layer with the cooperative mode. When someone joins into play, the experience transforms. Communication and timing are essential to get the most out of the equipment. A collective mistake is fatal, but victories guarantee good stories and virtual scars to tell later. It's the kind of game that, with a partner, enhances the fun and chaos. Jackal doesn't bother trying to impress with modern graphics. Its pride is in maintaining the old-school sprites and animations with enough polish to provide clarity amidst the shootout. Explosions, machine gun fire, moving obstacles, all very well integrated, reinforcing the frantic arcade style. The difficulty in Jackal is fair, but it doesn't forgive mistakes. The game demands reflexes, planning, and mastery of the controls. The final stages are true tests of endurance, and only those who master the Jeep's coordination can reach the end without major losses. Each victory is celebrated as if it were a trophy, and each defeat brings that desire to try again, searching for the perfect path. Cleared Hot is an intriguing promise within the modern indie shoot-'em-up scene. With limited information still available, what stands out most is its focus on fast and strategic aerial action, where the player needs to keep a steady hand and an even sharper mind to survive intense shootouts. The gameplay is expected to be based on short but violent missions, with a clear emphasis on rapid vertical and horizontal movements, as well as heavy use of power-ups and upgrades. Features that are essential for those who enjoy the arcade genre. The feeling is of a game that won't leave room for calm moments. Here, the adrenaline should always be at its peak. The visual details, although still a clear mystery, are likely to follow that minimalist yet modern line that balances clear graphics and flashy effects, ensuring that every shot, explosion, and movement is clearly visible. For fans of arcade and shoot-'em-up games, visual clarity during the action is an almost sacred requirement. I imagine that Cleared Hot will bet on this to ensure that each match is an intense spectacle without sacrificing fluid gameplay. The bet on rapid progression with upgrades and customization is another aspect that promises to keep the player engaged for many hours. This formula, when well executed, creates the addictive cycle of playing, dying, improving, and trying again, which is the soul of intense roguelite and shoot-'em-up games. In Cleared Hot, this should act as the engine for the experience to be both challenging and rewarding. Although the game may lack a robust narrative, the focus seems to be entirely on delivering action that makes the heart race and makes the player feel at the center of a relentless aerial conflict. For lovers of the genre, this simplicity in its premise can be a strong point, as it avoids distractions and places all its bets on pure fun. Based on what is already expected, Cleared Hot seems to position itself as a deep arcade experience that can reward players who value technical mastery, quick reflexes, and split-second decision-making.
Altitude.
I'm that guy. You'll see. Soon.
R-Type Delta HD Boosted is a polished remake of one of the most respected classics in the shoot-'em-up genre, originally released for the PlayStation. The game maintains the entire essence of the classic, but with a graphical polish that makes the ships, explosions, and scenery vibrate in high definition without losing the charm of the original graphics. For fans of the genre, this update is a real gem, as it delivers a nostalgic yet modernized experience, ideal for those who want to revisit it with updated visuals and sound. The game's differentiator lies in the depth of its gameplay, where the strategic use of the Force device and the different available ships create multiple possibilities for facing each enemy and boss. The design of the enemies, with precise attacks and complex patterns, requires memorizing movements and quick responses, making each stage a mental challenge beyond simple motor skills. This tactical aspect is one of the title's biggest attractions, as it doesn't allow the player to simply shoot without thinking. The game's atmosphere is immersive thanks to a soundtrack that combines intense synthesizers and spacey sounds that elevate the tension during battles in the galaxy of 2163. The stages have a progressive construction that transports the player through various hostile environments, from starfields to advanced technological bases, each with its own set of challenges and unique enemies. The attention to detail in the visual effects gives a cinematic tone to the experience. The inclusion of the practice mode is a valuable feature, as it helps new players and veterans to train attacks and strategies without the pressure of the main mode. This makes the game accessible without sacrificing the complexity that fans expect. Furthermore, the classic mode remains available, honoring the title's history and its legacy. Well, that was the video. I hope you liked it. See you next time.